What up guys, Brinks here, and today, Shujinko deserves an ambush. Sorry, as one of the 4 Shujinko players, I needed to get that off my chest. If there's one thing that you take away from this video, it is that Shujinko needs an ambush. But he's not the only cameo that needs changes, just the most important one. And that's actually what we're going to discuss today. There are a few cameos that are currently much worse off than the likes of Khameleon, Lao, Sareena, etc. Specifically, that they don't really have an actual reason to play them. If you haven't seen my past couple videos, my stance is that every cameo should have their own signature ability that they offer, or a unique combination of viable abilities. For example, Kung Lao is the neutral and mixed cameo with low hat, who also gives you a great launcher and a kinda shitty teleport. Sareena is the help I can't do combos cameo, who also gives you a ridiculous projectile and a meter drain move to deny combo breakers. Shujinko, on the other hand, is the worst cameo, who also gives you anxiety because you have to download him before he can participate, on top of being completely useless against the most popular top tier in the game. So that's where we're going to start the discussion. If you've been on my channel before, you'll know that I'm sort of the smoke and Shujinko guy. Unfortunately, that only applies to doing cool training mode combos, because currently he is way too weak and inconsistent to use against the festering horde of Johnny drones that plague the upper ranks of Kombat League. Shujinko's only unique moves are a punch and a kick that are meant to confirm into his copied moves. Otherwise, he gives you 2 summon moves that are copied from the character you're fighting against, which in the Johnny matchup is Nut Punch and Shadow Kick. That sucks. Against Kenshi, you get fucking Sento stance, but against Johnny, you can get hype mode. Not on my watch. So that is the first change that I would make. I don't care if it would break the shit out of certain characters. It would be wacky and cool and ridiculous, and Johnny would deserve every wacky beatdown he gets. Nut Punch can be the 1-bar copy move, so you get the restand utility at least. As I alluded to earlier though, the most important thing is that Shujinko needs an ambush. The easy way of doing this would be to give Shujinko a version of Tremor's mechanic to turn any cameo move into an ambush for the cost of the bar, which you could immediately charge back up with Shujinko. The harder version would be to give him an additional 3rd copy move that is an ambush, or my preferred method, give him his own signature ambush move that he has in every matchup. Something strong enough that's almost good enough to make him viable by itself, which combined with 2 decent copy moves, many of which by the way need some buffs or should just be different copy moves, Baraka, Reiko, Shang, Rain, would make him actually viable and interesting to use. Now, Shujinko isn't the only cameo in need of a rework. So let's talk about the I don't know how to hit confirm cameo, or at least that was his identity. Now he's retired. Mr. East Coast Throwdown himself, Cyrax. While I agree that Cyrax needed a nerf before, I hate how they went about it. Now don't get me wrong, I think limiting the frequency of something as strong as Horizontal Chopper without taking away its properties was probably necessary, but they did nothing to compensate for it. What I would do is increase the cooldown from 0 cameo bar to half by a substantial amount. This way, if you use the full Horizontal Chopper, you're not locked out of the rest of your cameo moves for so long. You still couldn't spam unsafe shit into Horizontal Chopper 16 times a match. But characters like Havoc and Rain, who had combos that involved a Horizontal Chopper extension at the beginning into a Vertical Chopper towards the end, would have these restored. And more unique combo routes is always a good thing. Cyrax's net move is good with how it works now, at least with how much I want to buff his final move, Self-Destruct. So we're going to leave that alone. For Self-Destruct, I think this is the move that Cyrax should be picked for. This should be Cyrax's version of Low Hat. Cyrax should be the reset combo cameo. just like he was known for in MK9. I think it would maybe be too strong for the explosion to be unblockable, so I would just make it not affect the user and start up way faster. It should still be a summon, but a summon like Low Hat, where the recovery is almost meaningless, so you could actually set up into it reliably. I think I would also make the meter drain for the delay slower, so that you could delay the explosion like an extra second from what it currently is. This would make Cyrax's entire kit usable, which is one of his biggest problems currently, and a problem with several cameos. Many moves are just too situational to justify spending Kameo bar on it when the cooldown is so slow. Before we get to the last cameo that I think needs multiple changes, I'm gonna rapid fire a few cameo buffs that would create even more unique cameo pairings that I really wish NRS would go for. Goro's grab should be a mid-command grab, giving completely unique pressure options to Goro teams. Sareena's single knife toss should be an ambush. She's the neutral and big combos cameo. This would strengthen both aspects. Sektor's full bar homing rocket should be a triple rocket, like an MKX, which would make it very plus on block for crazy pressure setups, or it would juggle an enemy long enough to make unique extensions possible. All of which would justify the full bar cost in some situations, without making the regular missile obsolete, which also should have a much faster cooldown. Motaro's teleport should be substantially faster, with way less recovery to allow for truly unique rule-breaking combo routes for Motaro teams that you would get from no other cameo. Tremor's overhead rock throw should track the opponent, rather than follow a set trajectory, so that it can actually be used in pressure and mix, and his ground quake should always restand and combo into itself if you connect the first hit. His up punch should have the same gravity every time, just like Lao spin. These all would give him a lot more interesting combo potential, as well as better mix setups with the ground quake and rock throw, and there would be a reason to switch between different stances and use more of his moveset. Scorpion's spear pull should have only one hit of armor, cost the full cameo bar, but be able to pull you out of hit stun if the armor isn't broken. This might be too strong, but I'm not sure how else to make this move worth using. It would still be on the character that everyone uses for combo extensions, so it might be like a combo breaker where you actually have to choose if it's worth spending the resource to get out of the combo or if you want to take the damage and save your bar to try and make a comeback. Finally, let's talk about Frost. Currently, she's just worse sub cameo, so I would make her a lot more of a trap and setup type cameo, which would give her a unique identity, starting with changing the ice orb to an ambush, or, if that's too much, changing it to a low hat-esque summon with minimal recovery. It is way too slow to be useful as it is now. Most knockdowns aren't plus enough to let you get it out because of how long the character is stuck in the summon animation, so this would let you actually set it up reliably. For Ice Carpet, her low freeze move, I would make just as safe on block as Scorpion Cameo's overhead, since it's functionally the same kind of move. Who cares if this one goes full screen? Finally, the little ice explosion move, I believe it's called Snow Crash, I would give higher damage that wouldn't scale in combos, which would give it a unique role as a combo ending move, since we almost never see cameo attacks used to end combos. They're always less damage than just doing your characters straying into whatever your normal combo ender is. So it would be cool to see a little bit more variety with that, rather than cameos always just being the opener or extender. And finally, I would make Frost Punch Walk all mids, solidifying it as the block pressure move that gets the opponent away from you, which is probably what you would want if you were using this version of the Frost cameo anyway. And all of these changes would solidify her as the Trap Zoner cameo, and she would play quite differently from other cameos, and would no longer just be worse Sub-Zero cameo. Alright, now before we close out this video, a couple general changes that I think NRS should really make cameos. One, I don't think they should affect your max health in either direction. I feel like having a built-in penalty for picking certain cameos undermines the point of the system, which is to customize and augment the playstyle of your preferred character. The penalty of playing certain cameos should only be the opportunity cost of not picking a different cameo. My penalty for playing Motaro with smoke should be that I miss out on low hat or up rocket. That's it. The other change that I think NRS needs to make is drastically reduce the cooldowns for most cameos, using Khameleon as a starting point. For example, I can use her to start a combo, and have the meter refilled by the end of the combo, letting me still have access to her for setups and pressure after the fact, and if I get another opening, I can still use her in combos. The game is way more fun when you have access to your cameos most of the time, and I don't know why you would create essentially an assist system like this if you didn't want people using assists fairly often in the match. That's what changes the gameplay of this Mortal Kombat from the other ones. In contrast, I wonder if they should increase the penalty for your cameo being hit though, so there's a little more of an incentive to try and swat the opponent's cameo out during pressure situations if they call them at the wrong time. But either way, the cooldowns are way too long for nearly every cameo. And I would also just like to see more cameos that can be used as reversals or wake-up options as well. More than just the safety cameo, or the launcher cameo, or the launcher with extra steps cameo, etc. But that brings us to the end of the video. If you like my suggestions or utterly despise them, I would love to hear about it in the comments. This game needs more constructive and fun discussions rather than all the doom posting and complaining that the MK community seems to be somewhat known for. And I hope that my channel and videos like this can facilitate that kind of discussion. If you hate the game, that's fine, but not every game is for everyone. So why engage in discussions with people who enjoy it and haven't yet lost hope? I love this game, and I think it can be even better, and I'm optimistic still that it will be. If you made it this far in the video, you're awesome, and I will forever appreciate you. Always. Join me in the comments to continue discussing cameo changes, and if you want to support the channel and see more guides and commentary type videos like this, then please like and subscribe. Otherwise, later.